Ethics and culture are an inseparable unity in everyday human life. Ethics are moral principles that guide individuals to determine right and wrong, while culture is a shared way of doing things. The relationship between ethics and culture can be seen in several ways, such as, ethical culture. Ethical humans will produce an ethical culture. Ethics in the world of work. Ethics and culture are an inseparable unity in the world of work. Every person who has ethics will be able to appreciate the V. To understand the influence of culture on business ethics, it is important to understand the concepts of enculturation and acculturation. In its most basic anthropological sense, enculturation refers to the process by which humans learn the rules, customs, skills, and values to participate in society. In other words, no one is born with culture. All humans, regardless of origin, must learn what is considered appropriate behavior in the culture around them. While enculturation is the acquisition of the norms and values of any society, acculturation specifically refers to the transmission of culture and the socialization process that originates from cultural exchange. The effects of this cultural mix appear in both the native, and host, adopted, cultures. Historically, acculturation has often been the result of military or political conquest. Today, this is also happening through economic development and media reach around the world. Two main conditions influence the relationship between business and culture. The first is that business is not culturally neutral. Today, business typically displays a Western, primarily English-speaking mindset and is reinforced by the enculturation process of Western countries, which tends to emphasize individualism and competition. In this tradition, business is defined as the exchange of goods and services in a specific market for the purpose of trading and creating value for its owners and investors. Thus, business is not open but is directed towards specific goals and supported by beliefs about labor, ownership, property, and rights. In the West, we usually think of these beliefs in Western terms. This worldview explains the misunderstanding between Minot, who assumed he was purchasing Manhattan, and tribal leaders, who perhaps did not mean it that way but instead believed they were giving him some usage rights. The point is that certain understandings and approaches to business have become commonplace in certain cultures. Business people working cross-culturally have essentially entered the theater in the middle of a film, and often they have to do business translation work to incorporate their understanding and approach into the local cultural idiom. One example is the fact that you might find chili sauce at McDonald's Indonesia instead of Heinz ketchup, but that restaurant is, after all, a McDonald's. The second condition influencing the relationship between business and culture is more complex because it reflects the evolving view of business, whose goal is not only to generate wealth, but also to balance profit and responsibility towards the public interest and the planet. In this view, which developed as a result of political change and economic globalization, organizations comply with legal and economic regulations, but then go beyond them to bring about social change and sometimes even social justice. The dominant production marketing consumption model is changing to meet the demands of a growing global population and limited resources. An organization can no longer maintain a net profit-only mentality. Organizations must now consider ethics, and, therefore, social responsibility and sustainability, throughout their operations. As a result, local cultures are taking a more aggressive role in defining their relationships with businesses prevalent in their region.